Well, I think I finally have it figured out, and I am live. It looks like there's one person watching. Oh well. Hopefully, more will show up in the next few minutes, and we'll get started. All right, looks like we're starting with a short somewhere here. Yeah, I did used to live in Rochelle a while back. Ah, here's a short. Hey, there's my wife. This is live.
Is it really? No.
What do you want, Patty? Yeah. Oh well. All right, so here we are in or on the Geneva Subdivision, and we're going to see if we can't do a little operations here. Right now, I have 3 trains running. This is one of the trains. This is the train that's actually going to be doing some operating. This is a eastbound train that comes out of Iowa and goes to Chicago, and it has some switching to do in Wheaton. So we'll get to that in a second. Here's a second train running. It's a double stack train. Both these trains are going through the Global 3, or going by Global 3. They're not actually going through the yard, but they are going by Global 3. This is a westbound double stack train, and this is located just east of Rochelle. Here's the Global 3. I should say it's just west of Rochelle, not east. Just west of Rochelle. And then, of course, going further east, we have Rochelle itself. And those of you who are new to the layout, just do a quick overview here. So this is where the layout begins. This is the west staging yard. And here we have another eastbound train. We'll just kind of follow this around for a little bit. It's going kind of fast. I think it's going to catch up to the other train, so we're going to back it off a little bit. I have my throttle here. Slow it down a little bit. Going across. This is Clinton, Iowa. Still have a lot of work to do there. And then we go across the Mississippi River. It's meeting the double stack train. This is basically going across northern Illinois right now. And then we have not Global, this is Franklin Grove. I'm trying to get myself motivated to start working again. I've kind of taken a breather after finishing Rochelle. So hopefully soon I'll put a road across the tracks here and do a lot of detailing. This Pitzer & Sons needs a lot of repair and conveyors and so forth added. Global 3 is shut down completely. That is correct in real life, but in this little part of the universe, Global 3 is still very active. You can see the trucks that are checking out and checking into Global 3. And we do have some activity going on. I moved from Rochelle in 2014. And so the layout basically represents what Rochelle looked like in 2014. And there's been a whole lot of changes since then. The precision railroading schedule, or whatever it's called, precision scheduled railroading, I think it is, has really changed a lot of things with Union Pacific Railroad. They basically are only running trains that are highly profitable. So a train used to be that there'd be over 100 trains a day going through Rochelle, and I don't think it has even half of that going through anymore. Definitely a lot different now than when I went through there, or when I lived there. You are right, the railroads don't ever shut down. They're open every day of the year, running trains every day of the year. I'm not going to follow that train. I'm just going to kind of walk through here. So this is Rochelle itself. This is the area that I worked on most recently. Did a lot of detailing, putting roads in, sidewalks, details. There's a railroad park in Rochelle. And then the water tower and the power plant. 7th Street overpass. This is Washington Street, which leads into downtown Rochelle. The abandoned passenger station. I think UP still uses it for storage. When I lived there, I would always see trucks parked there. So I'm not sure how it's used today. And then we have this little industrial area here. Tank loading and unloading for the BP oil. A total logistics control warehouse and Heinz lumber and a cement plant that just is there because I liked it and I had the space. And then from Rochelle, and we're going to stop here. This is the this is not the right train. So this one is going to go through Wheaton. And this is an area of the layout that needs a lot of work. Lots and lots of work. But this will be worked down somewhere down the road. This is Wheaton, Illinois. There's a big, huge part of the prototype that skipped here. So this is just west of Rochelle, or excuse me, just east of Rochelle. This is what I call the Rock River, which is actually on the other side of Rochelle, but that's a whole nother story. And then we skip about 70 miles or so, and we get to Wheaton. So a big chunk of the prototype is skipped there. Nothing against DeKalb and Aurora and so forth, but and then from Wheaton, we get to Did you want to ask me something? Yes. Whoa, what? I can't stop. My wife. wife is so nice to let me have a whole basement. Hey, this is Elmhurst. And then from Elmhurst, we get to Proviso. This is a engine facility in Proviso. I'm trying to thin out my locomotive roster. I actually have a couple locomotives on sale right now on eBay, so you might want to check that out. And definitely bid. Alright, and then this is the still Proviso. This is the yard in Proviso with a couple of warehouses. I started this layout in 2008, worked on it for 6 years while we lived in Rochelle, and then moved here to Georgia in 2014, and I've been working on it for 6 more years, so 12 years altogether working on this layout. So that's Proviso. From Proviso, then we continue eastward and get to, this is just some industries here, industry there. And we get then to, this is going to be Maywood. Not a whole lot of stuff going on here, just the tracks. Alright, and then this is the Des Plaines River and the bridge across the Des Plaines River. The layout is fully signaled. So you can see it does have the yellow. And then we go into the next room. And we get to River Forest. This is the easternmost modeled portion. Didn't have a whole lot of work done here until Walthers came out with this underpass, which perfectly matches the underpass at River Forest. So that motivated me to do the whole area here of River Forest. And I must say it turned out pretty nice. Well, 62 years, that's a long time to be modeling. I've been modeling not quite that long. I've been in N scale since 69, 70. So that's over 50 years. Anyway, then we get to the east staging yards, which connects with, goes through a whole, goes all the way through, and connects to the west yard. My favorite locomotive, this is one of my favorites right here. For some reason, it just stopped. There's a short somewhere, but anyway, this is my favorite locomotive right here. Have to go see what's going on with the short. It's probably the same as when we started. Right. Yep, it looks like that same locomotive derailed for some unknown reason. Here's the culprit. Very seldom do you ever have locomotives derailing. That's really odd. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, so this is the train that we're going to do some ops with. See if we can't drop some cars off in Wheaton. Yep, it does seem like HO, but it's even better. It's N scale. Though I have to say, I've been in N scale since 1970, so 50 years. My wife, who you just saw a little while ago, has kind of been trying to talk me into moving back to Illinois. So that may happen in a few years. I'm thinking maybe 3 years or whatever. The Norfolk Southern cannot lead on the Union Pacific Railroad. To run on this Geneva Sub on the prototype, the trains have to be led by UP locomotives because they have in-cab signaling system. And so if there is any foreign power, which we have from time to time, the UP has to always be in lead. I do not run DPUs on the layout, although that would be prototypical. But I do not do that. I only have 2 steam locomotives. I have the Athearn Challenger, which I like a lot, and then the Cottle FEF, which I also like. I use them to run 2 excursion trains, and of the 2, I probably like the Athearn a little bit better, just because it's bigger and it's my only locomotive that has sound. All right, so we're heading through Rochelle here, and we're going to be dropping off a few cars. That's going to require a runaround. I used to have a SD90 Mac, but I sold them. They were not really ever used that much by Union Pacific, so I never really saw them very often when I lived in Rochelle. So the ones I had, I eventually sold. I do have a TFM 70 Mac that I do still run. But mostly what I have are SD70s, ACEs, and then a bunch of GEVOs. Alright, so we're heading out here. I better, let's see, I better get going here. So I'm going to use my throttle here to slow things down. This is where we're going to be doing some switching. We're just going to switch some cars here at this lumber facility. I use Engine Driver, which is an app, Android app. You can run up to 3 locomotives, and it's through the JMRI. Alright, the first thing I need to do is figure out which cars need to go here. So I need to stop the train, which it already is, and I'm going to get the paperwork here. So I'm basically just going to switch this here. Alright. But I'm going to go get the paperwork. Oops, okay, here we go. Alright, I'm gonna have to I think end this. I'm already up to 20 minutes, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop. So what I may pick this up later. This is the train that we have here. MCLPR, so Clinton to Proviso. And we have a stop here. And we actually have 2 things to do. We have a set outs at the maintenance away track, which is right here. And then we also have setups and pickups at the Heinz lumber. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and we'll pick it up next time. Maybe tomorrow, if I have time, we'll actually do that right here. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for part 2 of this op session where we actually do the switching here at Wheaton. Take care. Have a great 4th of July, everybody.